Okay, what's going on, YouTube? This is PNG Media News, back at you with another edition of the Concrete and Steel Chronicles. Today, you're in for a special treat. I have a brother from the Bay Area who's did 29 years inside, just recently released. We're going to get his whole history. He's going to give us some insight on the KUMI Nation, a whole lot of other stuff. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this one. All right, Brother Kenny. So first of all, thanks for coming on my platform. I really appreciate you being here this evening.
It's all good.
Okay. So tell us, where did you grow up, bro? Tell us a little bit about your background coming up.
All right. Yeah, I grew up in East Palo Alto, man. Moved out there to San Jose and Milpitas. You know, Mom's moved me out of East Palo Alto because it was real rough back then. And I was in the sports real deep, so she moved me out of there to Milpitas to get me away from all the drama that was going on. And as we see, that didn't work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm from the South Bay, man. I represent that South Bay, man.
All right. So you say you came up like getting into sports. So how long were you into the sports before your life started deviating to off into other stuff?
Man, believe it or not, man, I never did no juvenile hall time, no YA time, no group home, none of that. I just started messing up till I was 22 years old. First time I went to the county jail, man, for stealing a car stereo, man. And back then, the little crimes that I was doing, man, was for fun. And I look back at it now, it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because it caught up with me, which gave me the 3 strike that I fell up under.
All right, so you go. Okay, so you say you weren't into those street stuff until you're like 22. So yeah. I mean, so you go to the county jail as a non-affiliated. What was that like?
Yes, well, back then it was a non-affiliated car. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a real car that was called non-affiliated that all stuck together because they didn't want to be a part of the gangs and the stuff that was going on. But it immediately got smashed and. You know, you have to ride with somebody, so that's what that came with. But going through the county, man, like I said, I always been a big dude, man. So, you know, a lot of people always looked up to me because of my knowledge, my size, and you know, I got a big heart, man. I always try to look out for the less fortunate, and you know, I'm still the same way.
Okay, so what was the name of the county jail for the Bay Area?
Okay, out here where I'm at is Santa Clara County.
Okay.
You know, we got all kind of counties out here. Alameda, San Mateo. Santa Clara is out here in San Jose, and the county jail is Elmwood and Santa Clara County Jail. Silicon Valley. All this money out here. And that's why they break you off so much time out here. Because they don't want us out here. They running all the blacks and Hispanics up out of here.
Okay. So when you went to the county jail, what were some of the groups represented, or did that happen at that level?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Back then, man, it wasn't no gang banging out here in the Bay Area. It's probably just North Daniels.
Okay.
It was just North Daniels, man, and maybe it wasn't no Crips, Bloods, and none of that. I tell people that all the time when they say, "Man, you crazy." No. We didn't gang bang, man. We was about getting our money, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we always collided with the LA car. Because 2 different kind of upbringings. So I'm gonna be honest, man. It wasn't no gangs, man. If they was groups. There wasn't no gangs. It wasn't no red, no blue, or nothing like that, man. And this is like in the 80s, early 80s, man. It wasn't no gang banging, but not out here. It's deep out here now, from what I hear. But when I was growing up, wasn't no gangs, man.
Right, because you know I actually heard that Oakland had like a strict no blood, no Crip policy. Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I did hear that. Yes, I did hear that. Because back then, Oakland was about the dope gang. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have time to be doing no gang banging. And it was, you know, it wasn't no Crips and Bloods out there, man. It was, you know, it was getting their money. You can't get your money and you gang banging.
Right. Okay. All right. So how long did you stay in the county jail before you get back to the street?
Okay, I did a year, man. I did a year, man, and I did like 8 months.
Okay.
And I got out and went back. But I was young and dumb then, man.
Okay. So you get back to the street. So how long is it the transition between when you went to the street to you went to the actual penitentiary?
Okay, probably about another year.
Okay.
About another year, then I caught a robbery, man.
Mm-hmm.
Caught a strong arm robbery, man. And believe it or not, man, and you know, I ain't ashamed to say this, man. I didn't carry no gun, man. When I was doing my little crimes, man, I was just swinging on them, knocking them out, taking their money, man. Strong, what they call strong arm robbery. I ain't never had no gun. I wasn't no tough guy. Wasn't none like that. Said it sounds real stupid now, man. But man, me and my partners, man, we were just doing it just to do it, man. Had money in our pocket. We had money in our pocket, and we had, you know, we had stuff, man. We out here robbing people, running 7-Eleven, doing beer rounds, and then, you know, that stuff caught up to me, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Okay, so when you get that third strike and you go to the penitentiary, now walk me through your experience. Like I said, you from the East Bay, so they don't have that whole gang, so you weren't schooled on that. So what was your introduction to that when you get into the penitentiary? Did somebody school you, or you just had to learn baptism by fire? Take me to that experience, that first stint in the pen.
See, man, it's kind of way out that you asked that question, man, because that's how 415. I call it 415, and people who know, you know, it's called KUMI now. You know, 415. We wasn't no gang, man. We was a black organization out the Bay Area, and we had to come together, man, because the BGF card wasn't lacing the youngsters how to protect themselves and make knives and do things. So one of the big homies, and I'm gonna say his name because he rests in peace right now. He need his props. Mousy Brown. He asked permission to start his own thing, man.
Okay.
And they gave him permission to start it. And it started off with just brothers from the Bay coming together, not no gang. It was only a chosen few of us. You wouldn't even know who it was unless you mess with somebody out the Bay. The weak and the less fortunate, we come together as vanguards of the Bay and handle our business. So we might be on the yard, it might be like 10 or 12, but you wouldn't know who he was until it jumped off. But now, you know, it's way out now. It's thousands and thousands of them, but I said that to say that we started off as a black organization. They consider themselves a gang now, I guess. That's why, and I'm gonna say this too, because I'm not ashamed of it. I backed out. I backed out. I went on the other side. And if I wouldn't, I would have never got up out of there. So yes, I was SY. For the ones who was wondering about the last interview I did, I'm a DO. I'm not a PC. I'm not no SY. I was a dropout from a black organization. And I dropped out so I could come home. If I would have stayed on the main line, it would have been all bad for I would either be dead or I'd have got an any term shoe. It would have been all bad. And that's the best decision I made in my life. You know, a lot of dudes be calling us PCs and all that. I'm not a PC, man. I walked away. I didn't get ran off the yard. I walked off the yard because I was trying to come home to my family, and it worked. And it worked.
All right. So let me make sure I'm understanding you. So the BGF, you know, what you know is the Black Guerrilla Family. They weren't really connecting with the youngsters, lacing them up. So one of the Oakland cats or Bay Area brothers got permission from the BGF to start the KUMI Nation.
Yes. And back then, but first it was 415. And I know you know this, but KUMI just means 10 and 10 in Swahili. 4 plus 1 plus 5 is 10.
Okay.
That's my Bay Area family.
All right, cool. All right. So tell me, so when the KUMI takes, what at what phase of the KUMI would you say you were in? Like, were you there from the beginning or during the middle? What point did you come in?
I came in probably the beginning. Now I ain't gonna say the beginning. I say probably the middle.
Okay.
Probably the middle because I can't remember the exact day because I'm old, but I think we started off in 86, 87 up there in Tracy.
Okay.
That's when they had some few brothers that was in the hole and they came together. I don't drop names, man, because you know I'm not a part of that no more. And so I would feel that'd be disrespected for me to sit up here and drop names like a lot of these other dudes be doing on these interviews. I think that's very disrespectful. Now, if you still pushing it, you know, go ahead and drop names and get the homies their props. But see, I don't get out like that. You know, my AKA is Special K. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I don't go by that no more. I go by Mr. Washington because of the stuff I do. So yeah, he was given permission, and it worked, man, because they was powerful. 415 was powerful, man. We was known to take off first. Ain't no talking, ain't none of that. If something gonna happen and you mess with somebody out the bay, the less fortunate the week, then we got their back. We was considered the vanguard of the bay.
Okay. All right. So being a protector for the vanguard of the bay, who would you say you had to defend yourself against the most? Was it other black cars? Was it Serranos? With the Woods? Who would you have the most conflict with?
Crips. Crips. Those are our worst enemies.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't really want to go into that, but I don't know why. But we stayed fucking with the Crips, man. I had a few bad experiences. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like it was because we was raised different, man. You know what? They was raised gang banging, and we was raised getting our money, man. Standing on the corner selling weed and doing that. And for some reason, we always collided, man. We always collided.
And was this across the CDC or just at certain facilities?
No, across CDC. Across CDC. Yeah. But I can say this though, on level 4 yard, the blacks came together, no matter where you was from, Crip, Blood, 415, it didn't matter. We came together and smashed. And it made our car hella stronger. And then after that, we go back to our own corner and do our own thing. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the good things about it, you know what I'm saying, is that on the level 4 yard, it wasn't no, you know, the division. It was some Crip cars like, oh no, I'm cool. I ain't riding with y'all. We cool. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like at the end, we all came together, man. I was in one of the biggest riots in 1996 up there in New Folsom on B Yard where the blacks and the Serranos got into it. It was cracking for 15 minutes, man. And that's a long time. That's a long time for a melee. They had to, the captain had to get on the speaker and tell all the officers, get off the yard. And they shot the whole yard up, man. 2 people got shot. I think 1 died, but a gang of people got shot up, mostly blacks, got shot up. And the blacks didn't even have the knives. The Serranos had the knives.
Okay.
Yeah, it was dangerous, man. It was very dangerous.
Now, how well did the blacks fare in that riot?
Say it again.
How well did the blacks do in the riot?
We lost that one.
Okay.
Because, like always, the Southsiders come out with their knives. They ain't playing, and blacks want to fight. They ain't doing no fighting. So, I read a paper that said that they found over 100-some knives on the yard that day after it was all over. Yeah, they took off on 3 sides of the yard all at the same time. Very organized. And that's another thing I didn't like about mainline politics is that we always sat back and waited. They ain't gonna do no waiting, they're coming to get you. And that was very dangerous, man.
Right, now I want to ask you about that, because I hear that a lot of times the Mexicans will have the knives, the blacks won't. But I'm thinking, what's the mentality with blacks that they always, like, a lot of times they will wait and be reactive instead of being proactive? What do you think that comes from?
I think that comes from because we think we could fight so good that we didn't need no knife, because they worried about the shoe program and the time you catch behind having a knife. So a lot of them be like, you know, man, I ain't carrying no knife. But those other races, man, especially the Southsiders, they stayed strapped, man. They stayed strapped, and they came with, and I don't care, it could be 10 blacks in one circle, man. One little guy will run up in there and put work in. I call it a suicide mission. Suicide mission.
Wow.
I respected them dudes, man. You know, a lot of them dudes are my buddies. You know, after I went on the other side, you know what I'm saying? I really respect them dudes because, you know, man, you know, you gotta give props where props is due. Them dudes are strong, man. They serious about their banging. They serious about theirs.
Okay. Now you said something interesting. You said in that riot, it was most of the Mexicans with the knives, but when the shooting started, it was mostly blacks who got shot. So you would think the guards would be shooting at the ones with the knives, right? So was that like some type of racial thing, you think?
Man, we always was up against it, brother. I could tell you a quick story. After all that happened, we was on lockdown for 1.5 years then. And when the big riot jumped off, right, we went on lockdown. And do you know that they started opening the doors on us coming back from chow or in the showers? And we still was getting rushed. And you know, like I said, I keep it real, man. We always up against it, not just against other races, against the police. Because they always say it take one black against 5. That's how strong we were, especially back in the day when they had the weights. That's why they took them, because brothers were so swollen, so big. You know what I'm saying? Beating up the police and doing stuff like that. So yeah, I always ask myself that, man. We always sat back and wait. I always waited. And you know, if you wait, you finna get it.
Okay. And now understand, so like, say, for example, the Serranos, the inmate runs their program. Same thing, the NF will run the program for the Norteños, and the AB will run it for the whites, the Woods. So there was no one collective voice for the blacks?
Well, I ain't gonna say it wasn't no one collective voice, but it'll be some OGs that'll come together. You know, it might be an OG Crip, an OG Blood, OG Bay Area, come together and do some talking. You know what I'm saying? It was hard. Every once in a while, they'll come together, see eye to eye or something. But most of the time, man, they were like, man, I'm not getting, especially depends on what's involved. They're usually behind some drugs. You know what I'm saying? Somebody on somebody. You know, and that's when they came out with that policy way back in '96. You probably heard of this, where blacks couldn't sell drugs to Mexicans. Mexicans couldn't sell drugs to blacks. And if you did, you was through if they found out. Because you know, they see that a lot of the problems was coming from drugs. So they said, man, look, this is what we're gonna do. We ain't doing no more business with blacks, and y'all don't do no business with us. And we find out y'all doing business, you're finna get lifted. You're finna get removed. And that was the best policy they could have ever came with.
And then in your 29 years, what were some of the joints that you've been through?
Man, all of them. Pelican Bay, New Folsom, San Quentin, Old Folsom. Down south, I never been to Calipat. I never been to Centinela. I've been to Donovan, level 3, Tehachapi, cracking Tehachapi. You name it, I've been to Soledad. You name it, I've been there, man. Man, I'm very fortunate to make it out of there alive, man, because I was a rider, man. You know, I had a name about myself, man. If something going down, they'll send me over there to talk to the enemy, right? And they'll tell them, hey, man, go over there and talk to them. Take 2 of them youngsters with you. I already know what I'm going to do when I get over there. And after that, like, they stopped sending me. I'm going to go over there and take off. I ain't going to go over there and do no talking. But when you do talking, that's when you lose your life. You know what I'm saying? So those prisons right there, man, New Folsom B Yard was man, a straight war zone. Was stayed cracking up there, man. Stayed cracking. Murders, man. People getting stabbed. So much drugs on the yard, man. So much politics, man. And it's crazy. High Desert is another one. It's still cracking over there on the main line. I was on the other side over there on High Desert before I transferred, before I came home. And that C and D yard over there, man, helicopter every other day. Flight them up out of there, man. And I don't understand, why would you want to put yourself in those kind of situations to lose your life over some homies who ain't gonna give a damn about you when you go to the hole, they ain't sending you nothing. Oh, he did that. Come on, man. You know, I don't talk down on no gang banging. You know, each his own. You know what I'm saying? But I never understood it, man.
Right. So let me ask you this. Did you notice a difference, like in the dynamics or the caliber of people, or just how people carried themselves from the joints up north than from the ones down south?
Oh, yeah. A big difference.
Talk about that.
A big difference because I ain't going to say all in Los Angeles. You know, up north, man, we about our blackness, man. You know, let's keep it real for a minute. The Black Panthers, you know what I'm saying? The era that they came through. You know what I'm saying? That's what we was about. you know, education, man. Learn, you gotta know. You gotta know where you came from, know where you're going, man. And these days, these youngsters don't know all the work that we put in back in the day, man, to be able to walk the yards, to be able to do the things that we do with the race wise and all that, you know. It's like on the street, man. You know, you have different corners of different areas. Same thing in the penitentiary. You better not go over there and sit on that table. That ain't your table. You know what I'm saying? That's the south side of the table. You know, okay. My brother just said that he ain't gonna be able to make it. But okay. So that was kind of deep right there, man, to where, man, level 4s and CDC, man, was dangerous, man. So many people lost their lives. That's why it trips me out how these dudes be carrying themselves nowadays, not knowing what people went through, how they lost their lives, man. The brothers, the uncles, you know, lost their lives, you know, defending an area, defending up north, down south, you know, people getting killed in their cell, you know, you have to settle you up, you have to settle there one of your own, man. You can't sit there with no crip or no blood. If it get cracking on the yard, now you got to get cracking with your cellie. He might be your partner. Yeah, man. Prison politics is a mother, man. And you know, back in the day, man, it was us against them, which mean it was the inmates against the police, man. Blue against green. You know, different people, different groups took turns to take it off on the police. You know what I'm saying? And then the police got smarter and they started turning us against each other. You know, back in the day, you could flag on the yard. You could wear your red and your blue. See, a lot of brothers out of LA, especially the Keyways, man, they look at us as being bloods because we flagged red, but we ain't blood. We used the word blood, but that's how we grew up. Young blood. You know, what's up, young blood? When you go to prison and say that to the wrong person, you finna get yourself in the world of trouble. You know what I'm saying? But my uncles and my older relatives and stuff, man, that was the word we used. Right. And I'm gonna say you can't come. These are just text. Yeah, so a lot of like I ain't gonna lie, man, way back in 85, Jamestown, dorm living real quick. I just get there. I call it cripple blood, because that's the word I was using. Oh man, I almost kicked off a ride, man. I didn't understand why until my homie pulled me. Man, you can't be using that word. If you ain't no blood, don't be saying that. And I was like, what? He explained it to me. I understood.
Okay. Now that's so interesting. So let me talk a little bit more about the dynamics between black groups. So you being a Bay Area KUMI cat, were you free to walk in the area where the Crips kicked it, or not even the Crips, but the Bloods kicked it, or that or even being black, you still had to stay in your own particular section?
I don't know. You could go over there. You could go over there, but you can't go over there deep. 2 or 3 of y'all can go over there, because if you go over there deep, they're gonna think you're coming up for some problems. Because a lot of us got along with each other, man. You know, like a lot of us got along with each other. So, you know, like, it's just that when a couple knuckleheads get into it, and then it started a lot of confusion. So I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of my best partners were Bloods and Crips. But you know, when it's time to get down, you know, it's time to get down.
Right. Now another thing, let me ask you this. Now you being in your car, but let me ask you this, just from your observing other cars and other groups on the yard, would you say that there's more violence within a group or between groups?
Oh, between groups. Yeah, between groups. Man, it could jump off behind a suit, man. You could borrow a suit from a guy. And I tell people this all the time. They talk about why he tripping over that suit. It's the principle of the thing, man. You owe somebody something, you pay them. It's 3 things they tell you when you come to prison, man. That you don't get involved with no homosexual activity, you don't get involved with no gambling, and you don't get involved with no drugs. So if you keep your nose clean from that, then you'll be all right.
And how many people what percentage of the people would you say would adhere to that?
Oh, half. And that's why, and I'm gonna be honest with you, back in the day, Man, they just let us bring drugs in, man, because they kept peace on the yard. They kept peace on the yard. If it was drugs on the yard, everybody happy. Ain't no drugs, everybody mad, want to kill each other. But then that's when some more problems came in. That's some more problems came in because now you owing. They giving you credit and you got 10 days to pay and you don't pay, it's gonna get cracking, man. I seen a riot happen to child, man, over some sausages. Okay. Sunday morning breakfast, the best breakfast it is. Brother come through the child hall, reach his hand in the sausage. No. Straight no. Southsider is, man, he's the one passing out the sausages. And he told him, he said, let me get a couple more. He said, if you want it, grab it. Tough guy. He grabbed it and it got cracking 5 minutes later in the chow hall.
Wow.
That was disrespect. You putting your hand in the food that everybody eating. Wow. Little stuff like that, man. Little stuff like that.
Okay. Now, before I switch topics, I just want to talk just a little bit more about just some of these politics, just try to get an understanding. Okay, so the politics more, what you say, racial, or is it just more about just space and territory? What's really behind these politics?
Racial.
Okay.
Racial. Whites don't like black. Nobody like blacks.
All right.
We're the most hated because we're the most strong. So it's always racist, man. And man, I know a dude that I grew up with, white dude, man, from Palo Alto. He couldn't even kick it with us, and we spent the night over each other's house and everything. And if they found out he was talking or speaking with, they're down him.
Just for talking to you all?
Yep. Can't talk to him. I'm gonna tell you something else that happened. Just say a white dude got a baby by a sister, right? He can't even be on the yard. He going to visit, he through. They're gonna get him. The white boy's gonna get him.
Okay.
Because they're gonna call him the end lover. Yeah, it's deep like that, man. Very racist. That's what it's all about. That's what the politics is all about. Because I can't speak on what's going on now, but the 10, 15 years I was on the main line, yeah, it was racist, man. Very.
Okay. All right.
Person hates you because of the color of your skin.
Okay. Then all those times, those years you've been in, and the riots you've seen, how often? Because a lot of times, because let me tell you some of the background behind this question. A lot of times I listen to these channels, these documentaries, and it's always portrayed that the blacks are losing. You know, oh yeah, we chased the blacks off the yard. Blacks were scared to fight. You know, we smashed them in the riot. I mean, I know everybody loses sometimes, but it's like these people portray that blacks are always on the short end of the stick. In your experience, how often would the blacks at least hold their own?
Man, that's false right there. Blacks always held their own because we always came together. And only thing, I'm gonna be honest, man, Southsiders, Norteños, they was more organized, man. When they come and organize. Blacks, they just finna come. They finna come and falling all down and all that. But when them dudes come, they done win a master plan. They done mapped it out. 3 of you over here, 3 of you over here. You know, they was very organized, man, and that was the difference. And that's what 415 was about. We became organized. We wasn't just fighting. You know, and we came with knives. It was going to be some serious stuff. So yeah, man. It was like, you know, we ain't lost that many. I got smashed. I got smashed for B-Yard 2000 in the gym. Crips and the Bay got into it. Oh yeah, they poked me a couple times. I'm blessed that they only had some Ricky Dick little knives. If they would have some crushes, I'd probably be dead over a basketball game. And a lot of my homies ran, man. There's only 5 of us fighting 50 of them. And they won that one. They won that one. And then they called peace. And that's why I stepped back. Because I felt disrespected. I've been there fighting for my life. It jumped off. Okay, it happens. Come on, man. Y'all call peace afterwards?
Okay. Okay. All right. So all right. So let's talk about that. So that was one of the incidents. Would you say that was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of you getting out that lifestyle?
Right.
Okay. So
That was
okay.
it.
So that was it. Okay. So you decide you feel disrespected. So you walk away from it. So I assume it put you in a different yard. So how does your transformation further? I mean, how do you
Oh
further your
man.
transformation?
Oh man, it was tough, but let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
It took me a minute, man. I went to the hole. All gang of us went to the hole. They kicked a lot of them back out there. But since I was one of the main participants, they told me I couldn't go back to the yard. They had to transfer me. So, you know, like I said then, man, I was down, man. You know, no nonsense. So I told them, you know, hey man, transfer me. They said, well, we got this new program called S&Y. See, a lot of dudes would get on these interviews and talk about S&Y and drop out. I am, because I was proud to be a dropout because that what got me home. You know what I'm saying? So my wife told me at the time that you got to think about that because they gave me a choice. They said, "What you gonna do? You gonna drop out or you gonna you want to transfer somewhere else?" I thought about it for a minute. I dropped out, man, because I felt betrayed that the dudes called peace. Well, we wasn't even in the wrong, and I almost lost my life that day. So I'm like, man, I might as well ride by myself. Yeah, it took me a minute. So then they put me on the other side, man, and oh man, because on the other side, man, and that's just keep it real, man. The S&Y was made for rapists and child molesters, protecting them. Then they start throwing us over there with them, and that's why the main line dislikes us and disrespects us is because we over here programming with the child molesters and the rapists, man. You know what I'm saying? And when I used to go to the hole in Salinas Valley and other spots, I talked to a few mainline dudes, and they tell me, man, you know what, we hate y'all, man, because y'all over there programming with them dudes, man. I never looked at it like that. But shit, I ain't finna go around cleaning house. I ain't finna clean house and jump on every child molested rapist. I see what I look like. You know what I'm saying? It's deep up in there now. If you want to really talk about some politics, that politics on the S&Y yard, I don't know if you heard, but they finna mix them S&Y gangs with the main line. It's finna get cracking. Who doing that? The administration is doing that. They know it's finna get cracking because now they saying it's more S&Y gangs, not gangs, it's more S&Ys than it is mainline now. And so now they be cracking so hard on these S&Y yards, they came up with a new, I can't remember the bill, but they finna put them dudes on the main line. So now, what you think finna happen? It's finna get cracking, man. It's finna be some bloodbaths. And the administration know it's gonna be like that. They don't give a damn.
So even with that in the hostilities, you think they want the violence to start back?
Oh yeah, of course. How they gonna get paid? How they gonna get how they gonna keep their jobs? Because they shut down prisons right now. So they want to show society that these dudes are violent. No, y'all making us violent by setting us up and putting us around people you know is gonna get cracking. Come on, man, that's part of the game, man. And anybody who don't see that, there's something wrong with them.
Okay. Now let me ask. Now, speaking of S&Y, because I've often heard that the S&Y side is more dangerous because on the main line, everything is controlled. You can't just go start a fight with someone without getting permission. But on the S&Y side, it's every man for themselves. So what was your experience over there?
Man, you hit it right on the nose. It's dangerous over there. They got some the dudes, and you know it's kind of crazy, man. Because when you come on that side, you're supposed to hang up your boots and your knife, man, and kick back, do some easy time. Nah, man, for the last 5 or 10 years, they come on that side and they begging hard, man. They done took it to the street, I heard.
Wow.
So how you gonna live your life on the street and you a PC gang, and soon you see one of them real ones, the real Serenos or Norteños, they finna get you. And like I said, you watch. Within the next 6 months to a year, you're gonna hear about it. It's gonna be cracking on the main line. all them tough guys, because a lot of them PC'd up from the police car. They said, "Oh man, I ain't going over there. I gotta handle my business." And they go right to the office to turn themselves in. And it's a gang of them on the SNY yard. I ain't gonna glamorize it and shout out the names of the gangs, because I don't get down like that. But it's a gang of them, and they pushing a hard line, man.
Okay. So you get over on that side and say it's more dangerous than the main line. So how did you walk that line of saying, you know what, I'm trying to get home, but I still got to survive in this place?
Mind my business. Stay out the way.
Okay. Right.
So they ain't no. I heard now there's a couple of them, but there ain't no PC black gangs, because blacks happy as hell to be over there in peace, but they ain't forced to do nothing. You know, the main line, you got to get down.
Right.
Over there, you have a choice.
Okay. All right. So what year did you get out?
I just got out last month, May 13th.
May 13th.
May 13th, man. Free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last.
Right. So let me ask you, I got to ask you this. So how much had the world changed from when you went in to when you came out? Was it like culture shock for you?
Man, you see how long it took me to hook up the Zoom thing with you?
Right.
I thought I would have to call you and tell you, man, hold on, man. But yeah, man, and you know what's the biggest thing? And man, the biggest thing that's really shocked me, man, is the homeless.
Okay.
It wasn't like this when I was out here, man. They got them everywhere out here in San Jose. On the corners. They got the they all at the stores. They got their kids with them, man. And this is what I heard from my lady and from my sister now. A lot of them is faking it, man. They ain't even homeless. They're out there hustling. Got your kid out there with you, man, with a sign talking about, I'm hungry. That's the biggest shock to me out of everything else. There's all kind of other stuff, but that right there, man, is sad, man. But the cell phones and what they call it, the GP what? GPS. Man, whoever thought of that, man, because I'm very bad with direction. You push that in, they're going to tell you exactly where you go. That right there is amazing to me. Everybody got big screen TVs. You know, I had a 13-inch up in that cell. Everybody, you go over their house, they got a big screen. All that's shocking to me, man. Like I said, man, back in the day, man, I should be a fuck up, man. Now, I've been out a month and a half. I ain't got in no trouble. I see my parole office. I'm programming. And I'm finna give back because I got a lot of homies I left behind. I gave my word. I'm finna help them. I do legal work, man. I'm a jailhouse lawyer. I don't call it jailhouse lawyer no more. I'm a legal beagle.
Okay.
And I'm real good at it. And what I'm finna do now, I'm finna start helping brothers get out up under that 1170D, which is re-sentenced for good behavior. Because there's some homies, man, that have been up in there 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? 25 to life. And the board is full of shit, man. So anybody who waiting to go to the board, they need to get into the courts. And the reason why I say that, I went to the board August of last year. You know what they told me? They told me I wasn't ready. I had been clean for 6 years. They told me to come back in 3 years. I turned around and get blessed by the 1170D re-sentencing with good behavior. I had 2 115s in like 5 years of fight and out of bounds. And they granted me my freedom up under that. You know what I'm saying? I was a level 4, man. I had 142 points. So anybody who listening that's locked up still, man, if I could do it, you could do it. I had 142. How do you have 142 points and you've been down 29 years? That means I was fucking up for years.
So is there any particular organizations that you're working with?
Yes, several of them. I'm working with the Ella Baker Foundation right now. I'm working with the D-Bird project, and they're the one that helped me get out. The D-Bird project for the people out of Oakland. They helped me too. So I just went to a meeting last week. But I sat in with the meeting where people call in, loved ones call in asking, hey, what do I have to do to help my brother get out or help my husband get out and all that up on 1170D? And I was able to get some advice. I'm gonna go back next week and sit there with them because I like doing that. Because man, that's all you gotta do, man, is program, man, stay out the way, man. And they letting people out of prison right now. I didn't know they had so many they got so many organizations out here now, man, nonprofit, Initiative Justice. I would like to speak on them for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Initiative Justice is an organization that started 8 years ago. The sister and her husband in Susanville, he got out after doing 7 years. So he started the Initiative Justice. Initiative Justice deals with the bills and the law. They the one helped pass Prop 57. They the one helped pass for us to be able to vote now. Ex-cons can vote now. They doing big work out there in Los Angeles. It's a brother named Lee Gibson. He had Life Without. They dropped it to life. He's a white dude, good dude, but he's my mentor, man. They dropped it to life. He was a youth offender. They let him out. Now he's going back up into the prison. They going up in Mill Creek in a couple of weeks and doing a big old thing out there. They asked me if I wanted to go. No, I don't want to go. I'm cool right now. I'm cool. They might make a mistake.
Right.
Trying to keep me in there, but this is just is a very good organization. There's another organization called ARC. ARC is Scott Bundick. They help you get jobs and everything when you get out. It's so much. Hey man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Is that it's so much stuff that can help you. Anybody who can't make it out here on the street now, they don't want to make it, man. They give you housing, they give you money, they give you stuff, man. But you gotta go get it. They ain't gonna just come and tell you. You gotta. Your parole officer show ain't gonna tell you. They got a lot of organizations out here. I couldn't believe it. Every day I'm on the move. Every day I'm on the move trying to find out where can I get some of this free money and free stuff from. Because it's hard out here, especially in Silicon Valley. It's hard. The cost of living is high. Apartment costs like $3,000 a month, man. Seriously. But they helping people get these nice apartments. But you got to put the footwork in. You got to go fill out the applications. And that's another thing I want to do, man. It's hard when you don't know the connections. And when I start doing the stuff that I'm finna do with prison reform, I'm finna be the dude that you're gonna call when you finna get out, and I'm gonna help you go to these to get your Social Security going, to get some of this free general assistance. I'll be able the housing. I'll be able to show you how to do that. Because they ain't got nobody, the pro officer ain't gonna show you. Man, hey man, they gave me 8 Target gift cards 2 weeks ago. Man, my brother and sister and my lady, man, been taking care of me, man. I gave them all that. Here, food stamps, here. They've been taking care of me, man. I'm just blessed, man, that I got people that still care about me, man. They giving me a big picnic, a big barbecue next month. Out of my little town in Milpitas, all my homies is coming together. We finna give a big old barbecue, man, because a lot of people, I didn't know that, man. A lot of people is glad to see them home that I survived that, man. 29 years in that little bathroom. Come on, man. And I ain't crazy. Well, I'm crazy, but we all crazy, but you know what I mean? Because you see some homies in there on that medication. It's crazy as a son of a, I mean, some gangsters, some riders back in the day, in there taking them secret pills and trade medication, and they got that other stuff down. You probably heard of it called Suboxone. It's synthetic heroin. They giving them to it now for free. Go to the pill window. They take it out of their mouth and sell it to their homie. He shooting his arm. So now you shooting your spit in the arm. So now their arms is all walking around affected and stuff, man. But who doing that, man? The system is doing that. Talk about it's helping them get off of drugs. There ain't no drugs up in there. Ain't no drugs like that. They getting high off that stuff. They're getting high off that stuff, man. It's sad. They rather spend money on that.
Okay. So, man, you're doing a lot of good work out here. It sounds like you got some big things to come. So how can somebody get in contact with you if they like you said, they got a brother or a husband or somebody in prison that they trying to get out, how can someone, get up with you?
Well, brothers like you that invited me to come on the thing, I'm gonna leave you with my information and my and my emails, thing. And I'm gonna try to get my own YouTube thing going. But mine, I want mine to be more in like what you just said, having people call in and asking me, hey, what can my brother's in there? He done this, he done that. Is any way you can help him? You know what I'm saying? I can't give a legal advice because I ain't got my paralegal license yet, but I'm working on that right now. But I can show them the path. I can get some paperwork to read because, hey, man, it's happening, man. They letting people up out of prison right now.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, YouTube. Be on the lookout for this brother. He's got, he done did 29 years. He came home, totally turned his life around.
For a burglary?
For a burglary at that. He didn't kill nobody, didn't shoot nobody up, just a burglary. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So any last words you want to leave the people with, brother?
Oh, man, I just want to say, man, for the brothers inside, brothers outside, I don't care what race you is, Mexican, white, Asian, whatever, man, holler at me, man. I can help you, man. I can get you going. If you got a brother in there, a sister in there that needs some help, get at me, man, and I'm good, man. I'll help 1437, the felony murder rule. If you wasn't the shooter at the time of the crime, they letting y'all up out of there. That law just went into effect a couple years ago. The 1 year prison prior, that's no more. To where now you can file back on that. That'll open up your case. So if you got gun enhancement and 5 year enhancements, now you got an open case. So that'll open your case back up to where you can file up under that. Especially you brothers out of Los Angeles, that George Gaston is really trying to get y'all up out of there. But you can't just sit back and wait, man. You got a program. You got to go to your groups. All that about. I know COVID is hit again in the prisons, but people always make an excuse about the groups. They got a thing called PrEP out of Los Angeles where you could do in-cell groups, NA, AA, anger management, CGA, initiative justice, and you get the same amount of credits. You get time off, rack credits for that. I wish I had my book so I could flash it, but I don't know where it's at right now. But I wrote a book called Why Should We Initiate Justice? You know what I'm saying? And I started a group up in High Desert, Initiate Justice, the way you get rack credits. Rack credits is where you go to group for like 12 weeks and you get 2 weeks off of your sentence. They didn't do that back in the day, man. The college courses they got up in there now. I heard San Quentin got their own college now to where, you get like 6 months off, man, for going to college. Come on, man. They're giving people a way to get out of prison and to earn their way out. And a lot of dudes, oh man, I ain't doing that. They rather play basketball and dominoes instead of being in the law library trying to figure out a way to get up out of there.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, yeah, definitely, but we're gonna definitely have to keep in touch when you get you start. When you get your own YouTube channel, you can come back here and promote it. You definitely need to get people like you, out there so people know where they can come through the circle. Like you said, the parole officer ain't gonna help you. The people supposed to help you not gonna do it. So people definitely need to know about cats like you.
Yep. Like I said, man, all respect to the general population, to the S and Y. I don't care. I'm a man. I'm a black man at that. And I've been up against it all my life. And for them to let me out like they just did early, like I'm gonna say this before we close. I had 35 to life, 25 to life for the burglary and 2 5-year enhancements because I've been in prison twice. They gave me, matter of fact, I'm gonna really be honest. I started off with 60 to life for a burglary. I did some appeal. 5 years later, I went back and got 25 of that off. Anyway, I said that to say this is the 3-strike law is going to go on the ballot in 2024. I'm going to be a part of that. It's a sister named Zakia. I'm gonna have her information to where you can write her if you got a loved one that's locked up, that's up under 3 strikes. We finna overturn the 3-strike law because the 3-strike law was made for blacks and Hispanics because they know they give you a deal and you take the deal thinking I worked them. No, they know you coming back. That's how they got me. You taking the deal thinking, oh man, I got 3 years. Yeah, because they were setting you up for the big one. The 3-strike law is a big thing. It's going to be on the ballot in 2024, and they was going to try to have it this year, but they was rushing it because, you know, in 2024 is when they do the president vote and all that. That's when everybody come out to vote. So if they would did it right now, it'd have been iffy because it costs a lot of money. It costs billions of dollars for that stuff to get on the ballot. So that's another thing I'm going to be doing. I got a brother. I got a shout out to my brother Dale Fetty, man. He's a rapper out here in the South Bay, and we finna start going around and talking to people about this 3-strike law, signing up for these voting stuff, and letting them know about our people. You know, he's a dangerous rapper, and we finna put some stuff together about prison, about brothers Hispanics who stuck up in there, about whites who stuck up in there that shouldn't be up in there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need a second chance in life, man. Now don't get me wrong. Some of them son of a guns and they need to be up in there. But you know, I can't judge them. Like Pac said, only God can judge them now.
Okay, definitely. All right, brother. I want to thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come on my platform.
Yes,
you
sir.
dropped a lot of game on us. I hope people out there listening, like I said, anybody out there trying to connect with this brother, you know, hit me up. I'll put y'all in touch because he's definitely doing big works. So there you have it, YouTube. Another edition of the Concrete and Steel Chronicles. Thanks for stopping in, and I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.